At first, everything felt easy. We fit together like pieces that finally made sense. Rachel laughed at my dry jokes and said I made her feel grounded. I loved how driven she was, how her eyes lit up when she talked about work. She had goals lists, a 5-year plan taped to her fridge. I found it cute. She found it motivating. She worked at a marketing firm downtown. Big clients, big pressure, big dreams. Her boss, Michael, was one of those guys who lived in expensive suits. The kind of man who thought charisma could fix everything. She said he was intense but brilliant. I didn't think much of it. Every story she told about work ended with some chaotic meeting or new deadline. She liked the pace. I liked seeing her succeed. We shared everything back then. Passwords, playlists, leftovers, even toothbrushes on weekends. She'd text me good morning before her first meeting. I'd send her dumb memes when I was stuck at my desk. Our little habits made the days feel lighter. But then she started changing. It was subtle at first. She stayed later at work, came home tired, and brushed off questions. She said she was chasing a promotion. Senior account something. I can't even remember now. I told her I was proud of her. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Soon, the late nights turned into weekends. She stopped meal prepping, stopped singing in the shower, stopped asking about my day. Her phone became her closest friend. Always in her hand. Always locked. Always hidden. I told myself not to worry. Ambition changes people sometimes. That's what I believed. Then the gifts started showing up. A designer bag she said was a bonus. A spa card she said she earned. But Rachel was never quiet about her wins. She bragged about everything, from free coffee to tiny raises. This time, she said nothing. When I asked, she shrugged. Said work was rewarding high performers. Something in her voice didn't sound right. I tried to trust her. I cooked dinner when she was late. I left notes on the fridge saying I missed her. She stopped replying to them. Our laughter disappeared first. Then the eye contact. Then the warmth. We sat next to each other, but felt miles apart. One night, she came home angry. She didn't get the promotion. She said the office was political. That hard work meant nothing without playing the game. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Maybe I need to stop being so ethical." I thought she was joking. She was. That was the first time I saw the shift. The hunger. The coldness. Like the person I loved was being replaced by someone sharper, hungrier, less human. I should have known then. But I didn't. I still believed in her. I still believed in us. And that belief was about to cost me everything. It started small, like a quiet echo I kept ignoring. She began working late again, saying there were executive meetings. Her tone changed when she talked about her boss. Michael this. Michael that. Always some reason, his name slipped into conversations. I brushed it off, told myself I was paranoid. But deep down, something itched. She stopped letting me pick her up from work. Said she'd Uber home because she had calls to finish. Those calls lasted hours. Sometimes she came home glowing. Not tired, just wired like she'd won something secret. Her phone was never out of reach. Always locked. Always face down. I asked if everything was okay. She said I was overthinking. She smiled, kissed my cheek, and changed the subject. The smell of her perfume lingered, expensive and new. Not when I'd bought her. A week later, she came home with a diamond bracelet. Said it was a company reward. But there were no emails, no photos, no bragging online. Rachel loved showing off. Now she was quiet. Careful. Different. The tension sat between us like smoke. Every night, I'd hear her typing in the living room. She said it was reports. But when I walked closer, the screen always went dark. She started staying out on Fridays. Said the team was networking. I didn't believe it, but I pretended I did. Because pretending felt easier than losing her. Then one night, everything cracked. I was reheating leftovers, waiting for her to come home. Her laptop was open on the table. A message popped up in the corner of the screen. Can't wait for our next strategy session, winking face, M. My chest went cold. Michael. Her boss. The same man she said was just demanding. I stared at that little emoji like it slapped me. My hand shook when I opened the messages. What I saw made me sick. Texts. Photos. Hotel names. Dates. Promises. He wrote, "Keep me happy and that promotion is yours." She replied, "You know I'm a team player." My heart dropped. I scrolled further. There were messages about meetings, but not the kind with PowerPoints. Private dinners. Rooms booked under fake names. Compliments dressed as career advice. I couldn't breathe. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. 3 years of trust traded for a job title. I took screenshots of everything. Every phone. Every line. Every timestamp. I wasn't sure why I did it, but something in me needed proof. Not for her. For me. Because when the truth finally exploded, I wanted it to burn with facts. I deleted the evidence from her laptop. No trace left. No sign I'd seen a thing. She walked in later that night, humming like nothing had happened. I smiled back. Pretended I was fine. But inside, I was already building my revenge, one screenshot at a time. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, those messages replayed in my head. Her voice. His name. That damn emoji. By morning, I wasn't angry anymore. I was calm. Too calm. She woke up, stretched like nothing was wrong, and smiled at me. I asked, "Got anything you want to tell me?" She blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" "I saw the messages," I said. "Between you and Michael." The color drained from her face for half a second. Then she smirked. Not guilty. Not scared. Smug. Like I just caught her sneaking dessert, not sleeping with her boss. She wrapped the blanket tighter around herself. "Okay, look," she said. "This isn't what you think." I stayed silent. She took that as permission to keep talking. "It's not emotional, it's strategic." That word hit me like a slap. She said it again. "Strategic, it's how people succeed. I did what I had to do." "You slept with your boss," I said flatly. "Yes," she said, "but it was for us." For us. Like betrayal could somehow be shared credit. She looked proud, like she'd solved some moral equation I couldn't understand. "You don't get it," she said. "This is how the world works. People play the game. I played it better." I laughed, dry and hollow. She didn't flinch. She talked about promotions, influence, power moves. Like she was reading from a self-help book for sociopaths. "You think this makes you strong?" I asked. She nodded. "I made a sacrifice," she said. "For our future." "You didn't sacrifice anything," I told her. "You traded us for a title." She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic." "No," I said. "I'm being honest." For the first time, her confidence cracked. Just a flicker. "You always said you wanted us to grow," she said. This was growth. I stared at her. "You didn't grow," I said. "You sold out." She crossed her arms, defensive now. "I worked harder than anyone. I deserved that spot." "Then why not earn it?" I asked. "Why cheat your way up?" Her jaw clenched. "Because playing fair doesn't work," she snapped. "People who cheat win." "Not forever," I said quietly. She stared at me, confused. Because she didn't realize she'd already lost. I walked out of the room. Sat down at my desk. Opened my laptop. The email draft was already waiting. Screenshots. Dates. Photos. Proof. Addressed to one person, Michael's wife. I hovered over the send button. From behind me, she shouted, "You're not really going to ruin everything, are you?" I didn't turn around. "You already did." Then I clicked send. One small click, and her perfect little empire started to crumble. The moment I hit send, everything went still. No noise. No panic. Just silence. I stared at the screen and waited for the weight of it to hit me. It didn't. It felt clean. Sharp. Necessary. Rachel stormed out of the bedroom, still half wrapped in a blanket. "You didn't," she said, voice trembling. I didn't answer. She grabbed her phone, scrolling fast, panic creeping across her face. "What did you do?" she demanded. "I told the truth," I said. Her eyes went wide. "To who?" I didn't respond. She froze, realizing. "Michael's wife," she whispered. Her face went pale. "You've destroyed everything." I shrugged. "No," I said. "You did, I just hit send." She started packing, hair wild, hands shaking. "You have no idea what you've done," she hissed. "HR will get involved. He could lose his job. I could." "You will," I cut in. "And maybe that's justice." She tried crying, but it came out forced. She wasn't sad. She was scared. Scared of losing the image she'd built. That night, she barely spoke. I slept like a rock. The next morning, she acted normal. Put on makeup. Ironed her blazer. Pretended control wasn't slipping through her fingers. By noon, it started. A message from my burner inbox appeared. "Thank you, this explains a lot," it read. Michael's wife had replied. Simple. Cold. Efficient. The kind of woman who wouldn't scream, she'd act. I smiled for the first time in days. Around lunch, Rachel started calling me. Verse text. Then call. Then another. "Did you send something?" "Michael just got called into HR." "What did you do?" I ignored every message. By the third call, I turned off my phone. By the fourth, she was home. The door slammed. "You ruined me," she screamed. I didn't even look away from the TV. "You lied to me," I said. "What's a little honesty between strangers?" She froze, tears streaming, voice breaking. "HR, investigating. His wife sent everything to the company." I nodded. "Good, saves me the trouble." She dropped onto the couch, shaking. "I'm going to lose my job," she said. "You should have thought about that before sleeping with your boss," I replied. She sobbed harder, not from guilt, from fear. The mask was gone. The strategic woman, act had cracked wide open. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked toward the door. "You can stay or you can pack," I said. "Either way, I'm done." Behind me, she whispered, "You'll regret this." I looked back once. "No," I said. "I'll finally sleep." And I did. That night, for the first time in months, the silence didn't hurt. It healed. 3 days later, it all came crashing down. Rachel came home, holding a cardboard box from her office. No blazer. No heels. Just sweatpants and red eyes. "They fired me," she said, voice cracking. I looked up from my laptop. "Sounds fair," I replied. "Michael's gone too," she added. "His wife filed for divorce. HR said we broke 6 policies." I nodded slowly. She stood there like a stranger in her own home. Her voice shook. "I gave everything to that company." "No," I said. "You gave them your morals." She stared at me like she didn't recognize the person in front of her. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she whispered. "You just wanted more," I said. "Yeah," she whispered. I wanted to be better. You wanted shortcuts, I said. Now you're just empty. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but they didn't move me. They felt rehearsed, like she'd practiced being the victim. I thought you loved me, she said softly. I did, I answered. Until you loved yourself more than us. She stood frozen for a moment, like waiting for a second chance. But there wasn't one. She packed a few things in silence. When she reached the door, she turned back. I never thought you could be this cruel. I'm not cruel, I said. I'm done. The door clicked shut. The apartment felt lighter. I sat on the couch and let the quiet settle. No buzzing phone. No fake apologies. Just peace. The next week, I got a message from an unknown number. It was Michael's wife. She thanked me. Said she got custody of the kids and kept the house. Her lawyer was thrilled with the evidence. I told her I was glad she got the truth. Then I deleted the email. No need to keep the past. Meanwhile, Rachel's name started spreading around town. Every HR manager knew the story. No one wanted to hire her. Her parents refused to take her back home. They told a mutual friend they were embarrassed. She ended up couch hopping between old coworkers. Her ambition had turned into ashes, and the world had moved on without her. I didn't gloat, didn't celebrate. I just breathed. For the first time in years, I felt weightless. Work was smooth. I got a raise. Nothing dramatic, but earned honestly. I started sleeping better. Cooking again. Folding my laundry. Simple things that used to feel impossible. Every night, I looked around the apartment. Same walls. Same couch. But it finally felt like mine again. Rachel wanted power. I just wanted peace. And in the end, that's what I got. A month passed, and the silence felt like a long breath finally exhaled. I hadn't heard from Rachel. Not a single word. I started to think maybe she was truly gone. Her name came up in conversations. But I just let it fade. No need to drag it back. Then one night, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. I stared at it for a second before answering. Ethan, a voice asked. It was Rachel. Her voice was small, strained. I need to talk, she said. I felt nothing. I didn't even care. But I was curious. 5 minutes, I said. She arrived at my door an hour later. Hoodie on, no makeup, looking worn out. She didn't look like the woman who used to run the show. She looked broken. Like she had nothing left. I've been thinking, she started, sitting on the couch. I leaned against the doorframe. I didn't sit down. Dangerous, I said flatly. She ignored it. I know things got messy, she continued, and maybe I didn't handle it right. Messy, I repeated. You nuked your life and mine with one bad decision, I said, and now you're calling it messy. She shifted uncomfortably. Look, I was trying to get ahead, she said. I wasn't trying to hurt you. No, I said. You hurt me because you wanted to be better than me. You wanted to be better than everyone. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I wasn't sure if she was trying to explain or just buy time. I didn't know what else to do, she whispered. You could have earned it, I replied. You chose shortcuts, Rachel. You didn't build anything. Her eyes shifted, like she was searching for an escape. Maybe we could start over, she asked, her voice cracking. I laughed softly. You lost everything. Your job, your reputation, and now you want me to just forget. She looked down, her hands fidgeting. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she said quietly. Too late for regrets, I answered. You didn't think about us. You thought about your career, and look where it got you. She stood up, shaking her head. I'm not the same person, she said. I've changed. You haven't changed, I said. You've just revealed who you always were. She stared at me, defeated. I couldn't look at her the same way anymore. She wasn't the person I loved. She was a stranger now. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't say anything. I just pointed at the door. 5 minutes, I reminded her. She took a long look at me, then left without another word. A week passed without contact. I didn't think about her much. Her name came up a few times, in passing conversations. But it didn't sting anymore. She wasn't a part of my life anymore. I was moving on. I started seeing someone new, Emma. Nothing serious, just casual and easy. She didn't need to impress me. She was just real. I wasn't in a rush to put labels on anything. And honestly, I didn't need to. Emma didn't ask about my past. She let me take my time. Rachel. She was still living in her mess. I heard from a mutual friend that she tried to get a job at another company. No one called her back. HR circles are small. And Rachel's name was poison. The phone call came a few days later. She texted me, asking if I could help her. I didn't reply. Instead, I blocked her number. It wasn't my problem anymore. I didn't owe her anything. Not an apology. Not an explanation. I had nothing left for her. And I was fine with that. Rachel made her bed. And no one was offering her a pillow. I was free. And that was enough. A few weeks later, Rachel tried one last time. She showed up at my door, looking like she'd lost everything. She didn't say much, just stood there, waiting for something. I didn't give her anything. Not sympathy. Not a second chance. She asked if we could start over. I shook my head. "You don't get it," I said. "You lost your chance." Her eyes watered, but I wasn't moved. I didn't care anymore. She stood there, speechless, like she thought I'd change my mind. But I didn't. I walked past her and closed the door. She left without another word. And I felt nothing. Rachel made her choices. She chose shortcuts, lies, and betrayal. And now, she was the one living with the consequences. Me. I was finally at peace. Work was good. I spent my days doing what I loved. No more drama. No more stress. Just quiet, real peace. I looked at my life and realized I was free. Free from her. Free from the lies. And that was enough. I didn't need anything else.